K-pop anymore. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't really like K-pop anymore. No! So when I turned 16, I started to dive into the world of K-pop. To no one's surprise really, because I was living in Asia, and so I was bound to fall into the black hole that was... I was your common white teenage girl who listened to K-pop a bit too much. But not like one of those cringe Korea boos, you know what I'm saying?
That's what you want to believe.
I lived in Asia, so it wasn't weird for me to get into K-pop. At least that's what I tell myself. So. Funny enough, I actually moved from Asia to Europe, and not long after is when I really got into K-pop. I'm a true BTS fan. So you could say I spent my last 2 years of high school just not socializing with the Spanish scene, because in my head all I thought they wanted to do was go out drinking and clubbing, whilst my hobbies were basically just journaling about these Korean artists and how much I was infatuated with them. And before any of you K-pop crazies comment down below, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just talking smack about your faves, I was literally you 4 years ago, and I probably even was more of a K-pop stan than you are, so... Nice! What the f***? Adios. I went to Mama 2017, okay? Like, I had a whole journaling fan account dedicated to BTS for years. It's where I got my name Grevmin. If you know, you know. And you can still see my journaling videos in this channel if you scroll down enough. I was a K-pop journaling influencer. I had 9K. I had 9K people following me because of my journal and writing about 7 Korean men. Now look at me.
Okay.
No joke, it was probably a year's worth of time that I didn't listen to any English music, just K-pop, and I was completely happy about it. I used to judge other people for listening to music that wasn't as deep and meaningful. If there wasn't like any meaning behind lyrics, then I'd judge them. I know. It was so hypocritical of me because BTS or any other K-pop artist that I liked could be singing about how they're making bank. I'd be like, yes, that's empowering and righteous. But if like a Western artist did it, like, I'd be like, they're so superficial and shallow. They don't give a about their fans. I was open-minded enough to listen to songs I didn't understand the language of, just not open enough to fully appreciate all types of music, I guess. I was so hard set on this mentality that I not only criticized other genres of music for being superficial, but I completely diminished their impact and overall musicality. I feel like now I can fully appreciate a band like BTS without actually being really into their music, although I personally think that their music has become kind of generic and basic. I feel like their production won't ever be the same as it was pre-Dynamite era. I think they used to experiment way more and now they're not because they're catering to a wider, more predominantly international audience. So of course they're going to have to make do with more poppy sounds. And that's fine. It's great even. I just don't personally connect with their music anymore. And that's not their problem, nor mine. I'm just evolving. And when I say evolving, I don't necessarily mean to better things. It's just plain changing. I'm not gonna lie though, I still with mic drop.
Si tú aceptas el cambio, aceptas la contradicción, porque lo que a lo mejor antes te parecía bien o era como un principio para ti, a lo mejor si cambias ya no lo es. Entonces, para mí ser humano es ser contradictorio y me parece como no hay nada más exciting para mí que el cambio y que la transformación. Entonces, porque pienso que a veces la gente tiene una idea de quién son los demás muy rígida y las personas estamos en constante cambio, en constante transformación y yo lo celebro, me parece algo súper positivo.
I'm listening back to some of my K-pop playlists and I still believe there's some really good stuff in there. And I'm 21 now, so I feel like my music taste is just gonna expand from here. What kind of music are you into right now? Right now, that you don't think you were into 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
What's his name? Cool.
Kanye West.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're into Kanye West?
Yeah.
And 4 years you weren't into it?
Yeah.
I started to write the script with the intention of trashing on K-pop, like kind of. Not incredibly trashing on it, but looking back at K-pop and being like, I kind of don't feel any connection with it. I listen to French music now, and
French?
Spanish, and I thought it would be, listening back to K-pop would be like, that's cringy. But it was just like a different part of my life, so I'm really grateful for that. And you're holding the camera like completely askewed.
It's just static, bro.
It's not.
As a kind of like final exam on my senior year, our school had us work on a year-long study essay, and the topic was of our choice. So you could pretty much guess what I chose to talk about.
With what morals do South Korean boy band BTS contribute to today's global society? And can those morals be of any use to us? Amazing. This is 36 pages. This is what my last year of high school was. And I asked myself why I didn't have friends. We all have to admit it's difficult to see past through the judgmental veil we often manufacture ourselves before we actually know more. Barras. Difference sometimes makes us feel uncomfortable and or uneasy because we're just not familiar to it. And that's basically my point of this video.
I used to think and was kind of feeding into the stigma of only listening to quote-unquote good music. That art had to always be positive and beautiful, tied up in a little neat bow. Art isn't supposed to look nice. It's supposed to make you feel something. There's no wrong way of creating art/music, as there is no right way to consume it. So maybe K-pop at the time just made me feel something new, and thus creating an emotional connection between me and this genre, and therefore gave it this meaning. And if you're a hardcore BTS fan watching this, you can't sit there and tell me Permission to Dance doesn't sound like
Tampon commercials. Tampon commercials.
Tampax, you have options. Some are cotton, some are rayon, some are blend.
The jingle is so poppy and so like basic
Are
and
tampon
generic.
commercials, jingles, poppy? Beloved or talented that he didn't even want to remind his script. He literally had.
Oh my god, that's so cool looking. This is for you, Willie. Burger. Only he gets that. Burger. I can just do a voiceover over this. I'm down to do something. You 12-year-old.
Fuck it. I didn't.
Oh, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
Oh shit. My bad.
God!
染み込んでしまう間に見えないはまず紙一重とかとせがないからさ